This is how the liberal media is lying to you. J.D. Vance snaps when called out over grocery prices. Now I want you to ask yourself, is this snapping?
You campaigned on lowering prices for consumers. We've seen all of these executive orders. Which one lowers prices?
We have done a lot, and there have been a number of executive orders that have caused already jobs to start coming back into our country, which is a core part of lowering prices. More capital investment, more job creation in our economy is one of the things that's going to drive down prices for all consumers, but also raise wages so that people can afford to buy the things that they need. If you look at our slate of executive orders, no, Margaret, prices are going to come down, but it's going to take a little bit of time, right? The president has been president for all of 5 days. I think that in those 5 days, he's accomplished more than Joe Biden did in 4 years. It's been an incredible breakneck pace of activity. We're going to work with Congress. We're, of course, going to have more executive orders, and we're going to try the way that you lower prices is that you encourage more capital investment into our country.
All right. So, of course, it is not true that Trump has accomplished more in his first 5 days than Joe Biden accomplished.
And maybe I agree with you, but at the end of the day, that still doesn't matter in relation to your title, which is saying that he snapped at that reporter. That was not a snap. That was just a conversation. That was, at most, you could say he was, for like all of about 0.25 seconds, flustered at the question that she asked. Maybe he was caught off guard by how brazenly she asked it. She did, to be fair, kind of ask it slightly passive aggressively. She was like, so they're not coming back down, right? The grocery prices aren't coming back down. But in all fairness to J.D. Vance, and I am not a supporter of J.D. Vance or Trump's team whatsoever, he answered this question pretty cordially.
We're going to work with Congress. We're, of course, going to have more executive orders, and we're going to try the way that you lower prices is that you encourage more capital investment into our country.
All right, so
even if I disagree with that statement, at the end of the day, that wasn't a snap. Yeah, scrubbing through the rest of the video, there's no more J.D. Vance clips, and he's never going to reference J.D. Vance's clip here in a way that is like pointing it out as incendiary. He's just going to address the points that J.D. Vance made in here without ever saying like, oh, and he snapped here or there. It's just stupid SEO clickbait titles to garner viewership that I'm really sick of seeing in reporting and media. Like, there's no reason the title of this video couldn't have just been just as easily have been J.D. Vance fails to answer grocery price questions accurately. You would have conveyed the same information, and at least you would have then had a title that accurately matches how you viewed the situation, and people could have seen it as more of like a, hey, this is a subjective thing, as opposed to you trying to be bombastic about a event that didn't happen, but you want to frame as happened because you knew that if that did happen and you were able to report on it, more people would click on it because people would want to see J.D. Vance snapping. That is, of course, something people want to see. Republican or Democrat, people are just more drawn to that, and you want to report on that. But if that didn't actually happen, you shouldn't say it happened and then try to act like you're reporting on that happening.